$256,277 pesos. Yep, that's what we're talking about today. And I supposedly, maybe, not sure, could be more. I did the math just now, and I think I'll be getting more, 10,000 pesos more this coming July for my Pag-IBIG MP2 account. Okay, as you may know, Pag-IBIG MP2, yeah, what we got right here is project with the Philippine government. Yep. More or less, history-wise, way back around 6 to 7%, roughly. Yep. 2019, they have 7.23% dividend yield. Okay, that's the amount of the money that you get back from them. So basically, if you got 100,000, they get back to you as dividends for the whole year around how much? 7,200. That's tax free, baby. So that's what we'll be talking about today. And thank you for joining me, by the way. Today is the 9th of April, which is a Thursday. The headline earlier, I think the war rages on. The war rages on. Israel just bombed Lebanon, and we got a lot of people killed, man. 254, if I read that right. Yeah. Well, don't quote me on that. I'm just basing all these stuff on my memory. So there you go. By the way, 5-year return for the Pag-IBIG MP2, that's 6.7. That's from 2019 up until 2023. Okay? Okay. So here we go. So here's my account. You can check this out over at Virtual Pag-IBIG online MP2 savings. So here's my current balance. I think as of today, I did a screenshot earlier. So that's once again 256,277 pesos and 10 cents. Right? So I started this journey way back 2021 around June. I think this is the time when I was getting into investing. I think it's due to the pandemic. COVID, it got me thinking. So COVID wasn't all that bad. This is one of those positive things that made me change, made me adapt to the situation. Yeah, and it's not just me. It's people all around the world. Filipinos, Americans, Africans, Indians, all over, Chinese. So here are the digits. Here are the numbers. I got 18 total number of contributions. That's for the span of almost 5 years now. By the way, as you can see, it's around June. So around June, I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited to get back or to hold in my hands the money that I'm supposed to be getting. Total contribution, that's around 210,000. So I did this in tranches. That means 18 times for the past 5 years. Total dividend so far, that's 46,277 and 10 cents. So this is what I got like given back to me by them for my investment of 210,000. Okay. The last time I put in some dough was around 2024, so that's 2 years ago. So why Pag-ibig MP2? Why put more or less around 200,000 pesos? Well, in my case, that's me. That's just me. I don't know about you. All right. So you gotta check your finances and check how much. Well, let's talk about the pros first, so you'll know. So absolute capital preservation. We're talking about government guaranteed. So so as you may know, for banks, I think we have the PDIC. They guarantee you 500,000, but I think the latest for the main banks that's around a million now. They guarantee a million pesos. But here in the Pag-ibig MP2, if you put in 5 million pesos, it's guaranteed whatever happened, Pag-ibig defaults, you'll still get reimbursed. But come on, man. The government defaults? I don't think so. Even if there will be a world war, the our country is going to survive. That's how bullish I am when it comes to a government. So there's that. Next up, 100% tax-free yield. hmm Isn't that yummy? Over at what we call this, over at PSE, the Philippine Stock Exchange, for every dividend that you get taxed for around 10%. So for my 100,000 pesos, I put up most probably, let's say, in a REIT, and then I get dividend 4 times a year in a total of 7,000 because the yield is 7%. So they're going to tax that. 10% of 7,000, I think, is 700. So my take home pay will be around 6,300. So basically that's how it works. But here at the Pag-IBIG MP2, it's totally different, man. That 700 pesos, you can compound that. You can compound that from the first year onto the second year, third year, fourth year, and fifth year because it's 100% tax free. Yeah, third up, historical outperformance of inflation. So, I don't know if you've checked, but inflation for the past 10 years plays right around 2 to 4%, closer to the latter. Yep, around closer to 4%, so 3.5 plus here in the Philippines. And historically, Pag-IBIG MP2 minimum on the minimum doubles it. So this is a hedge right here. So if you got money sitting nowhere, just in your bank, instead of it just earning, let's say, less than a percent, you can just put it in a Pag-IBIG MP2 and let it grow. And that's a hedge in inflation right there. Mhm. So those are the pros. Now, let's talk about the negative stuff in the Pag-IBIG MP2. Yo, the liquidity trap, the 5 year lock. So here's the thing. It's locked for 5 years. So for example, your 100,000 pesos, that will be locked in there for 100,000. When it comes to liquidity, MP2 is pretty low. Though it's very safe, safer like a bank. Now, you might ask me, then why put in? Why bother? Because in my opinion, it would depend from person to person. You know, you live your life, your finances, you manage it on your own. So you see that this amount of money in total I can put in the Philippine Stock Exchange. This amount I can put into crypto. This amount I can save in the bank. This one I can put in the Pag-IBIG MP2. This one I can do a little bit, maybe a business side hustle. You know, this one maybe I can try to buy or do a down payment and a monthly on a condo, a piece of land, or maybe even a car. Your call. Now, for me, liquidity is very, very important. That's why the amount that I placed here is just, I did it in tranches. So if I got that little extra money on the side, I always put it during the MP2. But if I don't got no extra, then I don't put anything because once again, it will be locked for 5 years. You can't withdraw it. It can only be withdrawn for serious illnesses. Someone got sick, someone in your family died, you really need the money, case to case basis. You have to go to Pag-IBIG themselves. Okay. Now, the second negative thing about the Pag-IBIG MP2 is the third positive thing here, which is historical outperformance. And the second here, it's variable, unpredictable rates. So it's more like uh, two faces of the same coin. Yes, you got historically outperformance of inflation, but future performance is not a guarantee of the past. No, future results is not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed by your past performances. That phrase right there, uh, this implies it. Okay. Now, lastly, the opportunity cost. So, what do you mean by opportunity cost? Uh, Opportunity cost is when you have 100,000. Instead of putting it, let's say in the Philippine Stock Exchange, it could go up. capital gains of 10%. So your 100,000 becomes 10,000. Then you can withdraw it. You can withdraw it. You can uh, liquefy it. Unlike the Pag-IBIG MP2, your 100,000 has to stay there for 5 years. It's a compound. So do your own research, man, on your own specific life, on how you manage stuff, on your money. Because for me, this is how I did it. So let's get to the yummy stuff, the math, which I love. So the accumulation, 210, 210,000, that's the principal. So I deployed it for the past 5 years, just like what I said earlier, 18 times. 60 60,000 pesos deployed across six tranches. So I deposited six times in 2021. And on 2022, six times as well, 60,000. In 2023, I did not deploy anything. I'm not sure. Maybe I was focused on the Philippine Stock Exchange. And in 2024, I was back. This time, 90,000. Deployed heavily in the second half of the year, including a 30K lump sum in December. Usually, I just put in 10,000 pesos. But this was on December, so most probably this was an extra on my 13th month pay. If it's not my 13th month pay, plus some of my salary. So second up, the compounding engine. This is what I love, man. This is what I love about the MP2. It forces you to compound all those dividends. Now, if you have the liquidity option, just like in the PSC, you would want to withdraw some of those dividends because, man, come on. I want to taste some of the fruits of my labor. I want to buy shoes. I want to buy this and that, experience stuff. But here at MP2, you'll be forced to do it. So 2021, out of the 60,000, I got 1,300 pesos. Not bad, right? Now in 2022, 60,000 plus 60,000, that's 120,000, plus the 1,300 I got in 2021 resulted in a 7,200 dividend. So that's how compounding works with Pag-IBIG MP2. 2023, 9,067 and 98 cents. Notice how the dividend grew by 1,700, even though I did not deposit anything that year. So check it out. 2023, 0 pesos deployed, but I still got 9,000 and an extra 1,700 just because of the compounding. Now check out 2024, 11,551 and 12 cents. And lastly, 2025, I got 17,034 and 10 cents. Ooh, compounding, man. I love it. So the math to be continued, the 2026 maturity projection, the July payout, most probably July or June, middle of June, I say. So the projection, assuming the rate stays near 7.12%, which is the current dividend yield, the 256,277 pesos will earn roughly 18,246 for a full year. So that's full year. However, we will have to get it by June, so that's half. So half of that is more or less 8,500 or to 9,000. So in total, it's not really 256,277, but I'll be bagging at June or July around 265,000 pesos, man. Once again, that's 265,000 pesos. All I had to do is just put in 210,000, the Pag-IBIG MP2, and just let it sleep. Well, I slept. The money and the math kept on compounding. So don't you just love that? So what's next? You might wonder. So we got 265K. So what will be the next for that? So basically, just a rough bird's eye view. As most people don't understand, how compound interest actually works until they look at the raw data. The raw data I presented to you earlier. Um, so basically, I made 18 total deposits totaling 210,000. I'm gonna run it back down for you, but I want you to look closely at the years 2023 and 2025. Let's get back up. Yep, there you go. 2023 and 2025. In both of those years, I deposited 0 pesos in this account. Nothing. Yet in 2023, the account generated 9,067 in dividends. By 2025, that yearly payout almost doubled, man. 17,000. Uh-huh. 17,000. Almost double. As you can see that. That confirms an exact tax-free yield of 7.12% for the year. Now, so when I close the account, hopefully this June or July, the final payout will not be 256K, but 265K. So, so this massive block of capital becomes liquid again. So just subscribe here at Project Peso, and I will show you exactly where there's 265,000 pesos is rotating next. I tell you, there's a very low chance I'll open another Pag-IBIG account. Once again, the liquidity, man. It forced me, but I would prefer to put it in the Philippine Stock Exchange instead. The question will be which stock will I put it in and the the position, the amount of the position that I'll be putting in. All right. So see you next time. Peace out.